Man loses password to a chip embedded inside of his body. Let's read a little bit about this. All right, a magician in Missouri had a kooky idea: implant a computer chip into his hand and then do some fun magic tricks with it. But too bad he forgot his password. It sounds like a short story cooked up by Kurt Vonnegut, but it really happened to another, this Ting Wang, or Wang, however you pronounce his name, a magician and molecular biologist in Missouri, who posted about his predicament in his Facebook account this month, complete with an x-ray picture of his hand showing the white outline of the offending microchip embedded in the meat between his thumb and index finger. Quote, "I'm living my own cyberpunk dystopia life right now, locked out of technology inside my body." Very interesting, and pay attention to this because we're going to give you some insight on this. "And it's my own fault." And he uses some choice words there, but we're going to say the censored version there. "Who goes by the stage name Z the Mentalist. On first glance, it's a pretty funny anecdote, but as companies like billionaire Elon Musk Neuralink push brain chips to the public, Wang's personal tale serves as a cautionary tale for the risk of having any technology, whether private and public, embedded into your body. Companies may go out of business, product lines discontinued, or in the case of Wang, you stupidly forget the bloody password." Wang explained in a Facebook post that he had a radio frequency identification RFID microchip inserted into his hand ages ago, quote, "for fun magic tricks." But it required someone such as an audience member to press their smartphone with an RFID reader to Wang's hand to activate whatever trick he developed. But it turns out that pressing someone else's phone to my hand repeatedly trying to figure out where their phone's RFID reader is really doesn't come off super mysterious and magical and amazing. And often people have that reader disabled too, while using my own phone for the scan also lacks oomph for the obvious reasons. Moving away from using the gadget as a magic prop, he later tinkered around with the chip by rewriting it with a Bitcoin address. Notice it's got financial transactions connected to an implantable chip in his body, and then had it linked to an image meme, Imgur, I-M-G-U-R. I don't know how to, I guess I pronounced that right, guys. Some of this stuff, I'm just older and I don't know what that is. The online image sharing platform. So I guess that's what that is. Again, some of y'all may know what that is. Some of you don't. But a few years ago, that link went down, and when I went to rewrite the chip, I was horrified to realize I, quote, "forgot the password that I had locked it with," he said. Here, the bottom line here is tech friends told him the only way to unlock the chip is literally strap on an RFID reader for days to weeks to his palm and brute forcing every possible combination so the chip remains in his hand, lost password and all. Quote, "At least the Imgur link started working again, but I'm still locked out of my own body's tech, and that's inconvenient but hilarious." Wow. All right, now while we think you may think this is weird, and you may think this is bizarre, and some people even may say, well, what's the point of even talking about this, Brother Ricky? Well, there were some things I wanted to point out here. Number one, noticed here that it was an implantable device into his hand, and noticed how it was technology that was instilled in this device. And he even mentioned he talked about Bitcoin, which is a financial transaction to this. So number one, and notice he said he did this for fun and tricks. So this is what I call the normalization of implants and this living tech in your body. It's the normalization of it. It's the conditioning of this. The very fact that an individual voluntarily had a chip embedded in his hand for a trivial reason, quote unquote magic tricks, gives us the idea of body embedded technology seeming accessible and even fun and not dangerous or sinister. Now, you already know where I'm going with this. You guys are seasoned in the word. You know this. You already know where we're leading to this. But I go over this stuff like this. And the whole reason why I go over this kind of stuff like this is so that the whole reason why I go over things like this and break this down in the way I do is so that you can use videos like this, these podcasts, as evangelical tools for family members, friends, co-workers, people of influence, neighbors, whatever the case may be. As people become more and more acquainted with the very idea that anyone could have a chip under their skin that interfaces with everyday devices, the mental leap to chips used for identity, access, commerce, tracking, economic transactions, it will become smaller in margin. Let me say that again. Once society becomes more and more comfortable with and acquainted with this type of technology, with this type of transaction going on, where people are embedding things in their skin for the sake of identity, safety, convenience, access, commerce, tracking, etc., the margin will become smaller. That's just like with anything else with technology. What this will do is it will eventually erode the whole weirdness factor or threshold of this. What once seemed like science fiction, once seemed like taboo, implants under the skin will just become another gadget, another fashion, or another novelty of choice. Then there's and where is this leading to? The desensitization of this. Once media outlets present these stories as casual curiosities, what it does is frames the technology as harmless entertainment rather than a potential gateway to eventual dystopian systematic governmental control, aka the beast system, Revelation 13. What this does is it desensitizes people and makes them less alert to the deeper prophetic implications of this type of thing going on. Over time, the repeated exposure to these stories like this. Remember, Sweden, Switzerland, Sweden, there's other countries out there that this is kind of a normal thing now. They've kind of taken the reins of this, and their citizens are implanting these things in their hands. And once these stories, the more and more exposure that people get to these stories, the more willing that people will become to accept chip-based systems. And again, we went over why. The convenience, the safety, the economic reasons, transactions, even if these systems might later be repurposed for more controlling purposes, commerce restrictions, identity verification, digital identity, tracking purposes, it won't matter, because if by the time people wake up to it, that it's dangerous, it'll be too late. Because again, as I always say, once Pandora's box is open, you can't close it. You can't put the lid back on it. Eventually, the resistance to this is reduced more and more and more. If people view these chips as optional or personal choice, then again, it'll be just like any other technology. In this particular story, the chip is optional, it's self-imposed and reversible theoretically. Now, I say theoretically because when you get in the tribulation period, guys, I can show you in the scripture where it appears that those who take the mark of the beast, a grievous sore begins to appear on their body. Now, there is speculation of what that is. Now, we know it's from those who take the mark of the beast, but what could be the real reasoning of this grievous sore being caused on their body? Again, there's theories around that. There's speculation. There's hypothesis that's been formed around that it could be something in the battery. If it's, for example, if it's an RFID microchip, it could be a lithium battery in it that when you try to tamper with this thing, it breaks. And when the substance of that spills out into the bloodstream, it causes a reaction in the bloodstream, and this is what could cause this grievous sore. So for now, something like this is portrayed as, again, reversible. It's okay if you get it and you forget your password, or you don't like it, or you change your mind. It's okay. All of this framing supports the idea that implants are voluntary enhancements or conveniences. You know what this is going to do? It's going to frame future mandated chips as a natural evolution rather than a forced step of a tyrannical government. Wow. Think about it. And I'm going to tell you, this is a truth right here if you're willing to receive it. Once implants are commonplace in society, and again, I know it's going to be very hard to accept this right now, but if you think of the evolution of think of your smartphone. You had a password, then you had the fingerprint, then you had the biometric, which was the eye, the retina scan. Then you had voice. Some devices have voice control. Then what are they moving into now? They're moving into digital identification systems. And then eventually, what's the last step of this? Even Bill Gates has said this, that the next smartphone will not be held in your hand. It'll be on your body. It'll be a digital tattoo. And then it won't be on your body. It'll be in your body. Revelation 13, in your right hand or in your forehead. So once these things become commonplace, it will become much easier for authorities or systems to propose using them for broader control. They'll use them for payment systems. They'll use them for access. They'll use them for identification, because it's the convenience of all that in your body. Come on, somebody. Are you paying attention? I believe we are the generation, ladies and gentlemen, in these last days that are witnessing these things come to place. I mean, the RFID chip itself is effectively an embedded ID or data storage device. This overlaps, again, with the very thing that the mark of the beast will be capable of doing. It will enable commerce. It will enable identification. There will be societal participation. There will be the worship of the religion of the beast. And all this will be tracked and controlled by this put in the body of these individuals. And again, just to recap this, let's go over here, Revelation 13. And again, the false prophet in Revelation 13:16 causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark. And I'm going to say in, because we're reading from the New King James, but I always emphasize this, that the King James, original 1611 King James translation says in. He causes all, both small and rich, great, rich, poor, free, slave, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. There it is. Revelation 13:16 through 17. That's what the Word of God says. And I'm telling you that we're seeing this beast system just continue to accelerate.